It's facts, not fiction. Said I black out for real, then the track gone missing. If it's cap, I'm dipping. We ain't talking about a move, then it's flatline finished. When I spaz, I'm grinning. Put a peel off in the Sadies and I pass by spinning. It's perks with this life, but I don't have my skinach. Took a quick trip and now I'm back home winning. And I see they eyes pop like I snack on spinach. Pull up to the spot, she tryna grab my digits. I'm already 8 shots, a Henny past my limit. Here you go. Hazards with a dash full of tickets. I'ma act like I don't see them. I got bad eye vision. Y'all can't pass my scrimmage. While y'all tripping, it's Aruba. I realized I had to go and flip.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 213 of Psychotic and Iconic. Paul's here along with my co-host Nick Theories. Thank you to everybody that's tuned into the live stream tonight. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and share it. Thank you to everybody that likes, follows, and subscribes to all of our platforms. We back.
We are so
We back after a tough fantasy draft last night.
Yeah, that was so out of fun.
Shout out to Jay for the high rise fantasy auction draft at the link last night.
That's my guy.
That was awesome. That was the best draft I've ever been a part of.
That was insanely fun, dude.
That was the coolest thing that I've ever experienced for a fantasy draft. And I think the craziest thing to me was I didn't realize how packed it was. Like when you went up the escalator and you went up the steps and turned, and it just opened up. Like Hollis Thomas was there, Jason Avant was there. It was just a really cool atmosphere. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be empty.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know it was like an event like that.
I didn't know either, but it was super, super dope, dude. Yeah. I had so much fun, man. That was a vibe.
And then when you go into the suite and you got all that food, the wings, the roast pork, the sushi. I mean, dude, like I've been shitting since last night.
Bro, me too, dude.
It was bad.
Bro, I had a turd about like that long. It was a solid 14 inches, bro. Dude, like no doubt about it.
It was just
like the tacos to me were fire.
I forgot about them. They were awesome. Fire. Yeah, I don't know what they were either,
I don't know.
They were
It was
awesome.
something on the shell. They had like a hint of something. I don't know what it was, but it was fire. And then they had the cheesesteak egg rolls. They had wings, pizza, burgers. What did they have? Roast beef?
No, it was roast pork.
Roast pork, sushi, mozzarella balls. Oh, dude,
they were hitting too, the mozzarella balls. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then they had candy. They brought out the candy, and they didn't have just like regular size candy. Like they had like the big ass boxes. Mike and Ike's. They had the Butterfingers.
I had Mike and Ike's, a Reese's Take 5. I had like 3 or 4 bottles of water, sushi, the tacos, probably 15 wings. I had a slice of pizza. Probably like 30 of those mozzarella balls. I mean, my stomach was hurt.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stop eating.
Dude, it was amazing. That's a buffet. That's a buffet.
That was how
Straight
you do
up.
It. That was how you do it.
That's exactly how you do. That's how you draft, bro.
It's like that was like the most guy
I can't wait for
ever.
next year.
That was the most guy thing ever. I know.
I can't wait for next year now. I'm like, yo, I can't wait for that draft. Like that was so much fun.
I know, dude.
Just the vibe out in the parking lot beforehand with the guys, and then just going in there, busting a grub before the draft.
And the thing was cool is like I didn't know outside of you, Seamus, Jay, Derek, who else was it? You, Seamus, Derek, Jay, Sean, and D-Ray. I didn't know anybody, and everybody was cool in there. Everybody was cool. Like all the vibes were up. Nobody, you know what I mean? It wasn't,
I knew majority of them from the shop.
I know him from there. Yeah. The auctioneer was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that commanded a room, dude.
Yeah, like yo, that's important, dude.
I know.
Like
dude,
yo, I'm not even kidding. That is extremely important in auction drafts. Is you got to command the room. If you're the auctioneer, like you go once, 37 once, twice, sold. As soon as you say sold, boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Like and it was right, funny too. He said as soon as the S comes out, he says it's done.
It was funny too, dude, because the night before I went to get a lineup at Jay's and he was there. And like I made a joke. I'm like, yo, you gonna have commanded a room tomorrow? And he was like, fuck you mean? And then he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna command it. And I mean, he really did. It was just so much fun, dude.
Fuck
and, like,
you mean is crazy.
The difference of like an auction and a snake draft it's like 2 totally different worlds. It almost makes snake drafts boring. Not almost, it does. When you do an auction draft, there's so much attention to detail, and it's you got to be like insightful. You got to be thinking on your feet. You got to make quick decisions. Like you're being a GM.
Yeah, that's exactly what you are.
And when you do an auction draft, it's just like it just opens your mind to everything. It's just an awesome way to do fantasy football.
I love it. I will never participate in a snake draft ever again. Unless it was for a league somebody, wanted me to join. That would be like the only way. there's special conditions for me to ever hop back into the snake draft league.
Yeah.
Like because like my thing is like the snake draft, you're handcuffed to that position. If I have pick 7, there's no way in hell I can get CMC, Tyreek Hill, and them like
Or Brees Hall.
Yeah, like
Or somebody,
and
Bijan.
that's dumb because like in an auction draft, like I can get anybody I want. I can build my team the way I want. I can go get one of those guys and build around them how I want. Like everything is on the table, and it makes it a lot harder too because you have to come up with values. You don't know you're going into a blind because you don't know who likes who. You don't know what they have them value for.
Yep.
And like just those two variables just collide, and it makes in my opinion, I think it makes the process a lot harder to prepare for.
Well, you got to think you have 12 or with Mark 14 guys. Mm-hmm. It's 14 different thoughts, opinions, strategies.
Values.
Like you said, you don't know the values, so it's difficult. And it's like I said, you kind of just got to roll with it. It's about timing, patience. You really have to focus on what you're doing. Like it doesn't really ease up until you have what, $20 left. Mm-hmm. That's where it's kind of just like, you know what I mean? Like you can lessen up a little bit, but when you're in the midst of it, where everybody's getting their core 3-4 guys, it's tense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
because like I said, and last night that was our first time kind of collaborating together. Well, it was our first time collaborating together on a team.
I've never been on part of a team.
Which it's like it's different. It's funny because like our strategies didn't always align, and then like when you're going back and forth, it's like I like this guy. It's like, well, I really like him, and it's like, okay, well, he might be too expensive. I think we can get him cheaper. And it's like, all right, well, you build a team, I'm going to build a team. That's what we were doing Sunday. Yeah. Like you build a team, I'll build a team. Let's put it together and see if anybody matches. Which way did you go on running backs? What did you do with your quarterback? What wide receivers are you going after? Like, I want to see how you're building and how I'm building, and then we could come together and figure it out. Mm-hmm. But the other thing was too, like last night, we were looking at each other at certain times, and it's like, take the wheel on this. Go. And then it was like, and I'll never forget, it was the Saquon one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like that was the first indication I had that I'm like, okay, we're together. Like we know what we're doing, because I was bidding on him high. And you even after that, you said, that was a perfect bid.
Yeah, because
I got up there and I was comfortable taking him for how high he went, but he went $3 or $4 over, and I just backed off. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But I got him to the point where somebody else blew their load on him, and I was still okay. Yeah, because there were still other players out there.
Correct.
But that was just that for me was the defining moment last night, where like I felt confident, where I'm like, all right, we're not going to butt heads.
Yeah, no,
we got it. But like
communication is everything too. It's hard to communicate because obviously people can obviously see you.
Yeah, that's why I was talking. I was talking like this the whole time, because I'm like, I don't want anybody reading it. And then like the two funniest things of the draft, hands down. Number 2 was Sean drafting Elijah Mitchell for $3 and smiling, and everybody then laughing at him because he was out for the year. That was number 2. But number 1, funniest thing that's ever happened in any draft was when Sam Laporta was being bid on.
Oh my God.
Jay bids him at 29. Seamus bids him at 30. And the auctioneer looks over and goes, yo, you're on the same team. Why are you bidding against each other? And I just like, I'll never forget laughing like that, because I was standing right next to Jay at the time. And it was just like the funniest thing ever, because that is like the perfect thing that would happen.
Yeah.
Like that was so like, that was so like on brand.
Yeah. It's such a Jay and Seamus moment.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
And Seamus's response is like, oh, well, I don't give a fuck. I won him for 30. So, but that was just like, that was a classic moment, dude. I will never forget that. That was so much fun.
Yeah. That was a great draft, man. That was so much fun. I can't wait for next year, dude. That ass.
What were some of the surprises for you? Because there was a few players that stuck out for me where, I thought they were going to go cheaper, or I didn't think they were going to go that high. Like Kamara was higher than I thought.
Yeah. Pacheco
was way higher than I thought.
Crazy high.
Who are some other people? Barkley was kind of where I thought he was going to be. Who else? Who do you have anybody off the top of your head?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think Kyron Williams for $43 compared to a guy like Saquon for $70. Like, I think that's a great value.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is how you win drafts. You go get a top back, but you also didn't blow your load. Now you had that $27 that you could have got Saquon for. Now you got Kyron Williams. You have $27 to play with. Now you can go get a wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Now you're filling out your roster, you know what I mean, efficiently.
Yeah.
That's how I view that value for Kyron Williams. Like, I think that's great value, personally. Pacheco, you're right. He went for 58. I think that's really expensive. I was really shocked about that.
What's crazy is on the flip side of what you just said, I'd rather have Barkley at 78.
No doubt.
As opposed to Pacheco at 58, because I don't think Pacheco's putting up.
Well, I would spend $12 more to get Barkley.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt about
Absolutely.
it.
Because it was just, like I said, he for me was my biggest surprise because like, I'm like, okay, I know we're high on him. Well, higher than we were last year, but I never expected him to explode like that when I nominated him.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, holy shit. And then
also another surprise was Nick Chubb going for $22. Like, I don't know what the expectation is when he comes back. I mean, I know he had a mean leg injury. Now, even when he's out for the first 4 weeks, because he's on the PUP list, so that means he's out for the first 4 games of the season. So that means, is he coming back after 4 games, or is he coming back later in the season? Because I don't feel like the Browns are going to rush him in.
There is no way that he comes back week 4 and he's going to be getting 15, 20 touches.
I just don't see that. Because I think Jerome Ford's a pretty decent back. And like, to get him for $2 is a steal.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerome Ford's going to be the guy for the first month of the season. Why not take a flyer and grab him for $2?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that was also eye-opening.
I'm trying to think of some other wide receivers that went ballistic. I thought Burrow went too high.
Yeah, Burrow
went high, and there's risk with him.
Burrow went for 23. Stroud went for 30. I thought Stroud's price was high.
Yeah.
I think Lamar's price at 35 is fair, but also I think that getting Josh Allen for 33 is a steal.
Yeah.
At that point,
that's who it was.
At that point.
And it was
Hurts went for 50.
Yeah, I'd rather have Allen at 35.
I'd rather have Allen at 33. Absolutely.
33. I'm sorry.
Mahomes went for 36. I mean, okay. I don't particularly love that.
No, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Correct.
That's just too much money because he's not a threat as a runner. And look, they did upgrade at wide receiver, but they didn't upgrade to the point where he's going to go. Injured. And it's not even that, bro. It's not going to be where he goes from throwing 27 touchdowns to 50.
Yeah, I don't
That's
see that
not happening. So I just like the Chiefs now are Patrick Mahomes is doing what Tom Brady did. He's being efficient. He's not being careless with the ball, and the defense is gonna hold up.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially the same thing. Hollywood Brown's already hurt. You got Xavier Worthy, who's he's a speedster.
Yep.
He's a rook. You got Travis Kelce. He is what he is. What did he go for last night?
35.
Yeah, like that's not a bad price for him.
I think his price dipped. It definitely dipped from last year.
Oh yeah.
Well, we weren't in that draft, but based on what they were saying, his prices plummeted from last year. But I think in Mark's league he went for 45. So yeah, I mean he went for $10 less last year. I mean, than last year, and this year we have $50 extra to spend. Yeah, which is interesting. So I wonder what his value is heading into Mark's draft.
Yeah, I know that's definitely going to be too. That's going to be something that's really going to be different to see too.
Yeah,
because it's going to be you know what I mean. It's different guys except for 3 people, and when you look at it, it's just going to kind of be like, okay, like this is how this one's going now. Yep. In a sense, it's just not going to be the same. And like you said too, I wonder what those players are going to be on Sunday in comparison to what they were the last night.
Yeah, no,
But like I said, last night for me was definitely, I didn't get, like, I thought I would have a little bit more clarity in a sense, but if anything, like truthfully, it made me there's a part of me that's a little bit more confused. Because certain players went for way over what I thought, and there are certain players that were way lower than I thought. So for me, it's just kind of like, am I off?
I think it's timing. I think it's just timing in the draft. I think that's what makes it difficult. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because you can get in a bidding war for somebody that you really want. Just obviously somebody really wanted Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they weren't leaving that draft without him.
I'm glad you said that. The craziest draft was the first nomination. J.K. Dobbins.
Oh my God, yeah.
He was nominated, I think, for like $5, if that, and he got ran up. And I was just sitting there and I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, look, J.K. Dobbins is a good player. He just can't stay healthy.
Correct.
And so it wasn't a knock on that. It was just like when they were running him up, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. He sold for $15.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
Like that's, to me, is insane.
He's a dollar player. You can't trust him. Maybe not $1, but he's a couple dollars.
He's a $4 running back.
That's what I'm saying.
$2 running back at most. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, like I'm not spending. Because there's Gus Edwards. They have the rookie there, so there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. Like, I don't know who's the guy, so I'm not going to spend. Like, I'm not even like looking forward to him. But the fact that he was nominated so early just confused me.
It confused me. Yeah, big time.
Like,
big time.
That was weird. Now I want to ask you a question. Now, who would you prefer? Would you prefer Tyreek Hill at $74 or Amon-Ra at $60? That's a tough question. I know. Because $14 in the grand scheme, I don't think is going to make
honestly.
I think it's a bench player.
I know, but I'm probably going Hill because Hill.
That's what I'm saying.
Hill can legitimately. I know Amon-Ra is like that, but when you have Tyreek Hill, like, you're not in control of any of your fantasy players, and once you accept that, it makes losing easier.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's a reigning 3-time last champion, trust me, I know all about it. I would rather have Hill because when I go up against Tyreek Hill, I legitimately am like. I know he's getting 30.
Yeah.
I just got to hope he doesn't get 50. That's kind of the way I view him. Like, I'm already in 25, 30 points.
Because he's like that.
I already know I'm in a hole. He's going to give me 150 yards and a touchdown or two. And when you get that kind of production week after week, it's hard to go against that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to go against that, dude. It really is.
So Tom says Amon-Ra. He preferred to have Amon-Ra for 60 than Hill at 74. That's interesting.
Yeah, Tom, the prices definitely were higher. The prices are a little bit higher in Marks. The only thing that I would say was really different was I felt like last night not weird players, but players I didn't expect to get into crazy bidding wars.
Right.
Like, that's also different. There were more bidding wars last night than they are in Marks. At least I felt that way.
Yeah, maybe. I guess so. I feel like a lot, but like you think a lot more back and forth.
There was a lot more back and forth, in my opinion.
Well, in fairness, a lot of people were going from 20 to 40, but they were going by like $2-3 increments. So
yeah,
in fairness, there was a lot of back and forth, but everybody was starting from 20 to 50, 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and it's also like the thing is too, there's only 12 players. So you're able to fill out your roster better with 12 players.
And we had an extra bench.
And an extra bench. So it was a lot different.
Yeah.
It is a lot different. Like when you have 14 guys, when you're going into that dollar part, I mean, there are times where you're going to have a bum or two on your team where you're just looking at him. You're like, why the fuck do I even have him?
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're in Mark's league, $200 budget and drafting 13 players. Every single player is not going to be a bomb. Like, you're going to have some duds in there. Like, it's just, you got to pick your poison. You got to pick your spots. Who's going to be the guy? You know what I mean? Like, you got to figure that out. So I don't know. It was interesting, man. It definitely it didn't confuse me though. I don't think. I actually think it kind of like solidified everything that I thought.
Yeah.
Truthfully, because I thought the top wide receivers were going to go for set amount of price. You know, the 60. I was
on a few of them, on a lot of them, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I was on.
I mean, the notes that we had written down on the players, like they were pretty on brand.
Yeah, dollar for dollar. They were pretty.
There were only a few players where we were way off. Like, we were way off on Kamara, way off on Pacheco. We were on Kyron. We were on Barkley. We were on Garrett.
Yeah.
What did we get Garrett for? Was it 52 or 55? 52, right? Because we had him at 55.
So we got him for 52.
And I think we had him on the page at 55.
Yeah.
So that was right on.
Yeah.
Because $3 for me that's kind of whatever.
That's right on par. That's right on par, to be honest with you.
So
Devontae Adams going for 52. I thought that price was pretty high.
That's steep.
I thought that was a steep price for him.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Any steals in your mind that you were like, holy shit, I can't believe he went for this amount? T. Higgins honestly, is up there.
Yeah, T. Higgins was up there. I will say though, it's actually a team. It's Derek. And salute to Derek because he blew his load in the first 3 picks. And the way the draft board fell, when you look at his squad, it's like, bro, good for you. You did great.
Yep.
I told him that. We were telling him that as soon as he walked out. Like, the way he was able to fill in his team with the way the players were being nominated. Like, you couldn't get Lamb and Jefferson and Dak.
Well, he got Dak for nothing.
Got Dak for $5.
Yeah.
Then Tony Pollard and Spears fell into his lap, and he got Gibbs.
Yeah.
So it was just, I thought it was a good draft for Derek. He has a squad.
He
nailed
ended
it.
the draft strong. He started strong. He fell asleep in the middle because he had to. He blew his load early on, and then he stayed patient. And then the way it fell for him, I think he filled out his roster pretty well. So salute to Derek. He's the reigning champ. So
yeah.
But I like our squad. I think our squad.
We're gonna be all right.
I'm pretty confident in our squad.
We're gonna be all right. Ford's closed.
Ford's closed after week 1. Ford's closed.
All right, let's get into real football. AFC
it.
South breakdown and predictions. Texans favored to win the division at plus 105. Jaguars followed at plus 270. Colts follow at plus 310. Titans at plus 950. Who has the best value here?
Colts. The Colts at plus 310, they have the best value. I mean, they were 9-8 last year. I think the biggest thing for them is like they have the roster makeup. The problem is, I think Anthony Richardson is a big question mark. We don't know what we're going to get out of him because you got Michael Pittman, you got Jonathan Taylor, they got Josh Downs, who's coming off an injury, but I think he's coming back probably in a week or two. But even so, they got weapons on that team. So, like, I feel like he's the biggest question mark. And the way he played in preseason, it didn't look good at all. So, but overall, this team is good. I think that, their defense is a little bit better than it was. And yeah, I just think the Colts to me are better than the Jaguars. So, like, I think they're the best value.
It's so funny you say this. Did Trevor Lawrence get an extension this year?
Mm-hmm.
For what, $250 million?
Yeah.
How insane is this? He's not fit. You paid a quarterback $250 million or whatever it was. I forget it.
They lost their wide receiver last year too, though.
When you pay a quarterback that kind of money, he covers up holes.
I get it, but losing a wide receiver that had 130 targets, that's a big hole to fill, and you didn't sign anybody.
That's not my problem.
I understand that,
deliver.
but that's why the evaluation is what it is. That's why I
watched Carson Wentz throw for 4,000 yards without a 500-yard receiver. You can cover up holes when you're good.
Yeah,
you have to do it. You have to do it. I guarantee you, Josh Allen. What was do you remember Josh Allen's plus?
But Trevor Lawrence could throw for 4,000 yards, but they could still be garbage.
They got to be good,
right? But when when you're missing a wide receiver one, it's even more difficult. I like Christian Kirk, but he's been nicked up here and there. So, and obviously they have Ingram and ETN, but you got to have a wide receiver, bro.
I get it, but for me, when you are that type of quarterback, you are paid that kind of money for you to overcome the holes on the roster and for you to elevate other receivers. Everybody keeps talking about Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie. Oh, he's going to be good. He's a stud, blah, blah, blah. You paid Christian Kirk $20 million a year, which is a steal, honestly, in the market now. But when you look at that, he's not favored to win his division. It's embarrassing. But for me, it's the Colts at plus 310.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good wide receiver, you have a good running back, you have a good defense, you have an A+ head coach. They said Adonai Mitchell has been looking good. You got Alec Pierce, he's all right. For me, with the Colts is, again, like to reiterate what you just said, I'm not like one of those people that thinks Anthony Richardson is going to change the world.
I don't get it.
And even when he played last year, and like they talk about his fantasy numbers, and it's like, okay, that's cool.
That's fantasy, though.
That's fantasy. Baker Mayfield was a top 10 quarterback last year in fantasy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now Baker had a great year.
Yeah.
He did. Baker had a great year.
He did.
But my thing when I come down to that is I'm not one of those people that looks at Anthony Richardson and sees a surefire thing. I just don't see it. I really don't. Now, he's got the coach that should be able to coach him up, because look what Steichen did with Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what he did with Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson. But even so, last year, I didn't see anything outside of him being an athlete that was like eye-popping.
No.
I can't point to a throw where I'm like, holy shit, that guy can succeed in the NFL.
His turnovers were down, which was good. But other than that, like, I just didn't think he was really all that efficient. Like, I don't know. He didn't wow me when he played. That's just the bottom line. I mean, he had a good week 1, I would say, against the Jags last year.
I just feel like the hype train on him is like, you know what it scares me of? It reminds me of the hype train last year from Justin Fields.
It does. Absolutely.
Like, it's a very similar situation.
Very similar. Like, he's the biggest question mark.
It's a big quarterback. He can run. He's flashy. He's fast. He's an athlete. But he's a quarterback And you don't know if he can throw the ball and make players open. So could he be good for fantasy? He could be awesome in fantasy. Could he be a dud? He could. Look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields, for people that are familiar with auction drafts, he went for $26 last year.
Yeah.
And look what happened to Mark's team.
Yeah, I know.
I'm being serious though. Like, I'm not even trying to clown. I'm being serious, bro. That buried him until he got a quarterback. He was floating by, and then he got somebody like Brock Purdy, and he took off.
Yep.
So when I see that type of shit, and I just look at it, I'm like, I guess the Colts, but I mean, I don't see how the Texans don't win this.
Yeah, I think
I really don't. And them at plus 105, and the closest one being 270 and 310. That's all I got to know.
Well, 105. I mean, them being plus 105 makes me a little nervous.
Well,
I
it's
feel
even
like
money, essentially.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like they should be heavy favorites, though.
They are at that. At that number, they are.
Yeah, but
they're still plus.
I think they should be like minus 120.
I don't know, because here's the thing, dude. There is a chance the Colts can sneak in and win this. If Anthony Richardson is what we're being told he is,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they're the best value. The Colts plus 310? I think that's a home run. The Titans at plus 950. I mean, that's it. And honestly, a Hail Mary.
I only have one. I think the Texans are going to win the division. The Texans are one of those teams, though, where they're like, I'm sitting on the fence, and there is potential, in my opinion, where they worry me a bit. They have a lot of hype. I don't trust Stephon Diggs. He's a diva. He's all about himself, and he's playing for his next contract. And Stephon Diggs is not going to have anywhere near the 160 targets that he had last year. He's just not. There's too many mouths to feed.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think this is a 1-year rental
for
Diggs? Potentially.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because
I think it is. You know why I would say that?
They got to pay him.
Because there's a team like New England that's going to need a wide receiver, and somebody's going to overpay for him. If he has 100 catches or something like that,
won't do it.
They might.
His age.
But if Drake May shows any type of sign, they will try and do that.
I think they would probably go after T. Higgins before they get.
Well, T. Higgins can be franchise tagged.
Right. But they can.
Wait, can you franchise? You can franchise tag Diggs. You traded for him. Never mind. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Could he go to the Raiders? I mean, I don't think they would franchise tag him, but like you sign Mixon, Tank Dell's all right. Nico Collins is for real. You got a legit defense.
Yeah.
So
I just don't see any way in hell the Texans lose this division. I mean, you add Stephon Diggs, you have Nico Collins, you have a bomb squad on this team. I mean, I just don't. There's just no way.
I just want to know if
there's no way.
I just want to know this. I just want to know if the same people that are going to criticize and downplay Jalen Hurts' play this year because he has a loaded offense, I just want to know if they're going to keep that same energy for CJ Stroud.
They should.
Because if CJ Stroud throws for 23 touchdowns again, or 25, 26 touchdowns, I don't want to hear shit. Because again, Jalen Hurts, if he doesn't throw for 40 touchdowns and run for another 30, he stinks. He can't play. He can't do it. He's not the guy. That's just how that goes. I just want to know if CJ Stroud, if they struggle at all, or they have any type of, stutter, are they going to keep the same energy for CJ Stroud, being he has a loaded offense and a better defense than Jalen Hurts? Are they going to keep the same energy for CJ Stroud that they will for Jalen Hurts if at any point this year Jalen Hurts slips up? That's what I need to know, because I know it's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen because CJ Stroud already has the narrative that he carried that team to the playoffs, even though Jalen Hurts in his first season starting went to the playoffs. Now, albeit he lost his first game, but regardless, he followed it up with a great year. Let's see what CJ Stroud does, and let's see if the same people that are going to criticize Hurts every single time he has a little minor bad game, if they're going to do it for Stroud.
Well, I think the criticism is fair from last year, though. He had a bad season. He really did.
But it's being overstated how bad his season was.
Well, in terms of passing, it was a bad season, though. He had 23 touchdowns and 15 picks. Now, the interceptions are way high.
Way
too high. So I think the turnovers are alarming. So, you have to look at that.
That's not
because you're coming from the Super Bowl appearance to that. Yeah. Like, you went from an awesome appearance in the Super Bowl, like one of the best performances possibly as a loser. Well, I don't know, because Brady hit through for 500 and lost too. So
that's the best game played ever by a loser too.
But one of the best performances ever and still lost. But like, coming into the season, he had high hopes, high expectations, and he didn't have that good of a season. So the criticism is fair for Jalen Hurts, but I think it is a little too far in terms of, he can't play. I don't think anybody could think that. I don't think anybody does think that.
But I do think that. I do think that.
Like,
Every time
you think people think that he's not a franchise quarterback?
I guarantee you, if you asked 50 random people, you're gonna get 50. You're gonna get 25%. I mean, I'm sorry, 25 players, 50% are gonna say no, and they're gonna say anybody can win with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley, but nobody's gonna turn around and say anybody can win with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, and Joe Mixon. And that's what I have a problem with, because that, again, it's being disingenuous. Like that you can't do that. And that's what I'm talking about. So to me, if CJ Stroud throws for 25 touchdowns, 10 picks, and has 3,500 yards, that's a garbage season for him.
It's hard to say.
If Jalen Hurts did that, they would criticize him and say he can't throw the ball.
But if he has those stats and the Texans win the division and they're 11-6,
well, they tell me that the Eagles are in a bad division. That was the knock before.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're 11-6 and he has those stats, I mean, is anybody going to bat an eye? He's a second-year player. But Jalen Hurts is only increasing.
But Jalen Hurts' second year as a starter, he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, but
that's my point.
But Jalen Hurts had the team to go to the Super Bowl, though.
CJ Stroud don't?
I mean,
are you crazy?
I don't know. Defense for defense, the Eagles' defense that year was damn near top of the league.
They were good.
I know, but I don't think that the Eagles and the Texans' defense are comparable.
But I'm saying if the Texans' defense turns on this year and they're a top 10 defense,
yeah,
their offense produces. CJ Stroud should make the Super Bowl.
Well, no, they should make a playoff appearance.
Well, I think they will do that. I'm not saying that.
Playoffs are different animal.
I'm just
regular season, they can have that regular season. But playoffs, different animal. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know.
I'm just saying, if his numbers don't blow you out of the water and they win 10, 11 games, I mean, not for nothing. What did the Eagles win last year? What were they, 11-6?
10
they were 11-6.
11-6, yeah, that's right.
Or 10-7, whatever. But because the Cowboys were 12-5, the energy should be it should be the same storyline. He's got a loaded offense. That's what you tell me about Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm with you, but I think it's an eye test thing too. Like, do you think that people question that Jalen Hurts can throw a wide receiver open?
He can.
More or less that Stroud can. Like, I think when I watch Stroud, I mean, he looks really, really comfortable
Stroud
in the
is
pocket.
Good. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
He looks calm. He delivers the football on time, accurately. He looks like a prominent quarterback.
He does, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I like CJ.
No, I know.
I'm just saying I think it went from it's being overstated that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball.
I don't think that's the case. I think what I saw last year is that when teams were blitzing the Eagles,
yes,
he had no success. He didn't know what the fuck to do.
And I can tell you exactly why.
He had no idea what to do. I know it's the play calling, and I get that.
It's 100% the play calling, bro. I mean, if you're getting a zero blitz and your fucking play call is constantly wide receiver screen, you got to get the ball out. The wide receivers aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that on every single play. Like, not every play.
Most of them was.
I remember specifically, it was against the Giants, and we were struggling against the Giants, and all they were doing was blitzing.
Was Dallas Goedert involved?
We couldn't do fucking anything.
Did Dallas Goedert did you ever see Dallas Goedert run a 3-yard or a 5-yard dig, a 7-yard curl? Did you ever see him do an option where you can go out or go in when the blitz is coming and your 3 fucking linebackers are coming, and it's like, yo, you got an option. Dig and go that way, bro. They're going to be open.
Got to find the zone.
But you have Dallas Goedert blocking on the line, getting blown off the ball, and then you have Smitty and AJ Brown standing there. What game was it where Smitty? I can't think of what it was, but I remember the play. Smitty ran a post on the inside. Jalen hit him right in stride, and he ran for like a 60-yard touchdown. They never ran the play again. There was no creativity in that offense, dude. It was like a preseason offense. It was vanilla. That's what it was. And when Kellen Moore gets in there and he's getting under center, he's running from shotgun, Smitty and AJ are running in motion. You got you got Saquon Barkley. It's going to take pressure off. Mm-hmm. It's going to take pressure off. He's going to have a lot of success this year.
Do you think that Kellen Moore is all that in a bag of chips, though?
Well, you don't, by the way you asked that question. I think Kellen Moore's he's a top 5 offensive coordinator. And here's the thing. No matter he could be top 20 and he's better than Brian Johnson and what we had last year.
I don't disagree with that.
So I don't give a fuck what ranking he is. He is better by leaps and bounds more than what the Eagles sat through last year.
No, I don't disagree with that. I asked the question because, like, I don't know. I feel like his style last year, dealing with a guy like Justin Herbert, transitioning to a guy like Jalen Hurts, to me is like apples and oranges. Like, they're two different style of quarterbacks that transition to me worries me. Like, just truthfully speaking.
Well, aren't Dak and Justin Herbert different?
Well, yes and no, like in a weird way, because like Dak's a pocket passer.
Yeah, now he is.
Like Dak can deliver in the pocket. Let's stop the cap. You know what I mean?
Unless
Like,
it's January.
Jokes aside, the Dak can deliver in the pocket.
I know.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like, and so can Herbert. Now, I think Jalen Hurts has the label of not delivering in the pocket.
Thank you.
So now that's but I kind of agree with it in a weird way. Like, I don't look at Jalen Hurts as a pocket passer. I look at Jalen Hurts as a dual threat. And that's not a knock on him. And I've said this a million times on the show that I don't knock quarterbacks for that. Like, if that's your skill set, play your game.
Can I be honest with you? I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I'm not even trolling. Josh Allen's not a pocket passer.
He's both. He's a dual threat.
But he's better on the run. If
he's
Josh
a dual
Allen,
threat quarterback.
But if Josh Allen had to sit in the pocket like Joe Burrow and Patrick
can.
Mahomes, he can't do it.
100%
No, he can't, dude. No,
yes,
he can't.
He
No,
throws
can't.
for 30 touchdowns a year.
I don't give a fuck. No, he can't.
He could deliver.
I didn't say he can't deliver.
He could deliver in the pocket.
If Josh Allen couldn't run, would he be in the top tier of the quarterbacks? No, because Josh Allen is not, his game is not predicated on standing there.
His passing stats are up there with the best in the league.
His passing stats for over the last 2 years, bro, he's ranked like 15, 16, and 23rd.
But passing stats, I'm talking about passing yards.
Yeah.
Talking about touchdowns.
I think he was 15 or 16 last year.
In passing yards?
Over the last 2 or 3 years.
In passing yards.
I forget what it was. I gotta read it.
There's no way.
I don't want to get into it. I don't think Josh Allen is a pocket. Josh Allen is not a pocket passer. Josh Allen's a runner.
He threw for 4,000 yards in the last 4 seasons.
Okay.
That's a pocket passer, Mike.
So is Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield threw for 4,000 yards last year.
But he does it consistently. I'm talking about
Jalen Hurts threw for 3,800.
I'm not trying to make this a Josh Allen discussion. I don't even know what your beef is with Josh Allen.
No beef.
I think it's sane. I think it's honestly, I think it's hypocritical that you do this shit. Like, I think you trolled me to a degree, because there's no way in hell you could sit across from me and actually say he's not a pocket passer or he can't be.
I didn't say he can't be.
Like, bro, he's throwing for 4,500 yards and he's throwing for 35 touchdowns a year. Last year, he didn't throw for 35 touchdowns, but Stephon Diggs wasn't Stephon Diggs, bro. That's why he got shipped out of there.
We'll see.
Like, that's his real talk. Stephon Diggs the last 6 weeks was negated from the offense. He was throwing to a tight end the entire time. Pretty much. That's why Kincaid's value is high.
I do like Kincaid.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and Kincaid can play. So, like, Josh Allen's numbers aren't going to really going to fade away as much as you think, because I think that he has decent weapons. I think his wide receivers are absolute garbage. Depending on Keon Coleman, I think they're going to struggle. We already predicted that. I predicted that for sure.
Trying to find this graphic,
but Josh Allen's definitely a pocket passer. I mean, if he was my quarterback, I mean, I don't even know how you would even say that. So, but going back to,
I got it. From 2021 to 2023, his completion percentage 23rd, his passing yards per game 8th, his touchdown to interception ratio 15th, his passer rating 16th.
Okay,
that's not a pocket passer, bro. That's an average pocket passer.
No, that's a guy that takes a lot of chances. That's what it is. He's a gunslinger. Brett Favre did the same shit. Peyton Manning did the same shit early in his career. He did, though, Mike.
Go ahead.
That's facts.
Okay.
Brett Favre, he come on, cuz. He threw for the most interceptions than anybody, and he's still a Hall of Fame player.
He also went back-to-back MVP.
Come on. Now, all right, I get it. But Brett Favre is a legend. We understand that. I'm not comparing Josh Allen and Brett Favre.
No,
I'm saying the similar styles in terms of gunslinging.
Nick, I don't know.
He makes mistakes. So what?
It's not about that.
It is.
But it's not that. That wasn't predicated on mistakes, brother. That was predicated on his overall passing stats that are not very good.
But the interception, yeah. But okay, so what is he in passing yards? What is he in touchdowns?
His passing yards was 8th. That's the only thing.
Okay. That's pretty good.
His touchdown to interception, 15. His passer rating, 16.
What's his touchdowns?
It's a touchdown to interception ratio.
Okay, so that same graphic, what is Lamar's stats compared to that then? The 2-time MVP. It ain't even close.
No, I know that.
That's what I'm saying.
My point is that if
so you're poking holes in Josh Allen's game, but then you love Lamar,
so
but it's like the stats don't even like align.
All I ever said was they're in the same tier of quarterback, which they are. They're B-level quarterbacks. My thing is that if Jalen Hurts over the last 2 years was 23rd in completion percentage, 8th in passing yards per game, 15th in touchdown to interception ratio, 16th in passer rating, every single motherfucker would say he's garbage. And you know that's true.
I don't think that's true though. Because if he's Mike, if a quarterback is throwing for 4,300 yards,
Nick, I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying
but
that.
I am.
But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm comparing.
But those stats are, I understand what you're saying, but those stats do translate also to the overall game. Josh Allen has been successful. His team has been successful. He has been successful as a quarterback.
I know that. But I'm saying you're proving my point.
But you're just poking holes into these stats that are trying to define against Josh Allen being a pocket passer.
I was using it as a comparison because everybody thinks Josh Allen is fucking great. But if that was Jalen Hurts' stats, they would say that he's garbage.
Well, what's Jalen Hurts' stats?
Has Josh...
I'm asking you, what's Jalen Hurts' stats?
I don't have them in front of me, but I'm just saying that they're not far off of that.
Listen, dude.
It's not about Josh Allen. It's not about Josh Allen. I'm just saying.
Right. I understand you.
I'm just saying.
I'm with you on that. I
couldn't tell.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're comparing Hurts saying about stats, and if he had these stats, he would be labeled garbage.
Because everybody says that Jalen Hurts is garbage, and I get that.
And I get that, but at the same time, if CJ
sweating like a
but let's go back to the conversation at hand here. If CJ Stroud has 23 touchdowns and he has, I don't know, 7 picks, you think that's a bad season for a second-year quarterback?
It got Carson Wentz fired from the Colts.
Yeah, but that's a different.
What the heck?
But they weren't successful. That's why he lost the last 2 games of the season. They choked. They lost to the worst team in the league, in the Jags.
That's why you're comparing the touchdown to interception ratio.
They got rid of but the context is there. That Carson Wentz got fired because they lost the last 2 games. It had nothing to do with stats. He got fired because he was unable to deliver. What I'm saying is, if CJ Stroud wins the division and has 23 touchdowns and 7 picks, you consider that a failure. Why?
Because those aren't eye-popping numbers.
But he won the division. He's a second-year quarterback.
No,
That's what I'm saying. We go back to the thing where we rush these quarterbacks where they have to be like 35 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns in the second year. And it's like, we got to stand with the expectations. I always talk about that all the time.
Yes.
That's why I hate when teams get rid of quarterbacks so quickly, because you don't even know what you have.
My argument on that is that
that's why I love Jordan Love. I was so happy that Jordan Love got a chance. Why? Because I felt like he deserved a chance. Somebody should have traded for him. Remember, we talked about it all the time.
You said Seattle
should have traded a fucking 5th round pick and go get him.
I know.
And guess what? He's good.
You did say that.
Take the chance. Why do you quit on young players? I don't understand.
It's not so much quitting, but my point is that you for me, it's more that it's narrative driven. And CJ Stroud now, no matter what, if he wins a division this year or wins a playoff game, they're always going to have him in the good. Baker Mayfield had a great year last year. He had a better year than CJ Stroud. Baker Mayfield had a better year than CJ Stroud. Like, I don't understand actually how somebody can, like, if you're looking at stats, it's not a question.
Well,
Baker Mayfield.
CJ Stroud was unexpected. So were the Texans.
I get that.
But so were the Bucs too.
I was just going to say that.
But they're not I just feel like Baker's not really marketable like CJ Stroud is.
He wasn't, because his value tanked so bad because of what's going on with the narrative around him.
Right.
That is what I was arguing about, and that's what I was saying.
Baker's old news, bro.
But
CJ Stroud is the new star.
I know that, but what I'm saying is when you compare numbers like that and you look at it, and you will see, and this is what I was going with Josh Allen. I swear I wasn't trolling. When you look at those numbers, if I saw that and I didn't know the player, I would say, like, yeah, they're pretty good. If I found out that was Josh Allen, I was blown away when I saw that today, because I know for a fact if that was Jalen Hurts' numbers, they would say that he's garbage. Like last year. Look, he did have a high interception. It was his first time. It was his first time having a bad interception year. What did Dak Prescott have 2 years ago? Then he said, I ain't going to throw 10 interceptions next year.
And he was right.
And he was dead right.
He got trolled for it and all.
Good for him.
He did.
And I guarantee you Jalen Hurts don't throw 15 interceptions this year.
I don't know.
So
We'll see.
that's all I was going to. But now that you got me all fired up, let's get back to where we were. Texans over under 9.5.
I got over, and I think they're going to have about 11 wins. I think they're going to be 11-6.
Does that number strike you as low as shit?
It does seem low as shit, dude. That's why it kind of scared me. I kind of hesitated a little bit, but I think, come on, you add Diggs. I think CJ Stroud could play. I think he's really good. I don't really say that about a lot of quarterbacks, coming out this early, but to me, he's got the it factor. I don't know what it is. He's got the presence. He's got the aura. He's got the confidence, the leadership. Like, he just feels like a franchise quarterback for years down the line. And I just, this team went 10-7 last year with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach. Now they have another year under the belt. I just don't see them going under 9.5. Although I do feel like this is a low number, but that could also be predicated to the schedule they have, because they did win the South last year. So obviously they're going to have the hardest schedule. So that could also play the factor, but I think they're going to hit over.
I really want to say under, dude.
Go for it.
How does a team that won 10 games last year, they were 10-7, right?
10-7.
So the team went 10-7. You have a rookie quarterback who, for all intents and purposes, is like that. You add Joe Mixon to a pretty porous running game. You add Stephon Diggs. Dalton Schultz is coming back. Tank Dell's coming back from injury. Nico Collins is now in his third year, I believe. And your over and under win total went down a half a game. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I'm being dead serious when I say that.
Truthfully, I think it's predicated on the schedule. I think they had the hardest schedule. They had the first place schedule after winning the division, dude. 9.5
wins, bro, for that team.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look across the board in division, I mean, they're
wasn't the Bills 9.5?
The Bills?
Weren't they 9.5?
I believe so, yeah. The Bills were 9.5.
And look who Josh Allen's throwing to, bro. Keenan Allen, Curtis Samuel, and Gabe Davis. Oh, no, Gabe Davis left.
Yeah, he's on the Jags.
I forgot about that.
He's on the Jags.
But you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm sorry. The Bills are 10.5.
10. That's even wilder.
That is crazy.
That just shows you the Josh Allen effect.
Yo, the Bills that being at 10.5 is a little crazy.
That would tell me to go over. That's too high of a number.
Well, the over is plus money, obviously.
Yeah.
Plus 122. But let's go back.
So I'm saying under on the Texans. They win 9 games.
Okay.
I'm playing the line. I don't care.
All right. I got over. The line. I mean, under is plus 118.
I'm playing the line. I'm reading that line.
All right.
Jaguars over under 8.5. $270 million quarterback. 8.5 wins.
I got over. I got them at 9-8. I got them right over.
What do you have at 9?
9-8. Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a lot better than he was last year. I think he's going to be a little bit more efficient because he has to be. They lost Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to go to Evan Ingram a lot more this year. I think they're going to rely on Travis Etienne a lot more. I just feel like they're going to be a little bit more efficiently on offense. Like, I feel like they have to be. And I trust Doug Peterson to get them to 9 wins. And you paid him for $240-something million. He better get you 9 wins. If he doesn't get you 9 wins, then you made a mistake. And that's just really how I see it. So Jaguars, I'm putting my faith in you. I got over 8.5.
You're going to be disappointed. Jaguars under all day long.
Okay.
All day long, bro. Trevor Lawrence at this point in time is not like that. And that's okay. He may get there. The Jaguars are fucking stupid for paying him all that money because he's not a top 10 quarterback. And when I look at that number, again, 8.5 wins, that's crazy to me. But to me, they're an 8-win team. They're a regular average team.
So you got them just below.
Just below.
Okay.
I got 7-8 max.
So then there's, potentially a game in there where they could surprise you, I guess.
They could, but I don't trust Trevor Lawrence like that.
Okay. I think he's going to have a better year. He's got the easiest.
He's better.
He's got the easiest schedule in terms of passing.
Yeah.
Defense. So I feel like the schedule.
He better know what he's doing.
The schedule favors him. I think he's going to do okay. I think
my blood pressure just went down. We good again. You fire me up. You really do fire me up
Well,
sometimes.
you because you fire yourself.
You
up,
got me
dude.
sweating and shit. You fire
hate,
me up.
You hate on the second best quarterback in the league, and
he's
it's
the third best
it's
quarterback, number one. And I wasn't hating.
It's just
I
unbelievable.
wasn't hating. You know what I was doing.
It's like sickening.
You just come to bat for him, bro. Like I wish you defended me like.
It's not even that. It just makes me sick because like what makes me sick about it is just like damn well if Josh Allen had even like 2 wide receivers. And he had Kincaid, bro. Damn well he would be. It's not. He would be the number 1 fantasy quarterback, and it's not even close.
Yeah, but I don't live in fantasy.
He would be number 1 fantasy quarterback, and he would have the best stats anybody in the league over anybody. You give him fucking Collins, Diggs, and all them guys, all their weapons, bro. He would do a lot of shit.
He had Diggs. What happened?
Diggs as his third. Diggs was his 1. Now Diggs is a third. Is a 3.
Diggs can't be a 1?
He went from a 1 to a 3.
He's a 2.
Come on.
Pause.
Maybe.
Come on, bro.
Maybe.
You don't in your wildest dreams, you don't think Tank Dell is better than Stephon Diggs.
I don't have to think
I actually think if I put you in a lie detector test, you don't think that Stephon Diggs is better than Nico Collins.
Here's the thing. I don't have to think that. The Texans do. That's why Stephon Diggs comes off the field and Nico Collins doesn't.
I don't think so.
So Nico's the 1.
I'll give you that.
Nico's the 1. Yeah. And I think you can argue Tank Dell could be the 2, depending on how they use Diggs, because Diggs could be the slot. I don't know. It's all about scheme. It is. Absolutely it is. Come on, you know that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're right. I'll give you that.
You know that. Come on.
I know.
So it's about that. So like I'm just saying, it disappoints me when you poke holes in the Josh Allen argument, because it's like, bro, like it's like, bro, damn well he's like that.
The problem is,
and the reason why I know he's like that, because you always want him in fantasy because
1 year
he's like that.
Yeah, because he's a good fantasy quarterback.
Because he puts up the stats because he's fucking electric.
Was Michael Vick ever the second best quarterback in the league, first best quarterback in the league? But everybody wanted him in fantasy in 2004.
Yeah, but that's completely different. Michael Vick, but the errors are different. Rushing back then was wow. Michael Vick did that. Like that was a different dynamic in fantasy that was never introduced for 1, right? So for 2, Michael Vick was never really considered a pocket passer early in his career, except for when he went to the Eagles, he became a better passer.
He was like that.
He was very good with the Eagles. He was really good. He did great.
I know.
But we had the weapons for him. But you needed a team to do that for him. So he was in the right situation.
He had Riley Cooper. Was it Riley, Deshaun, and Jeremy Maclin? Yeah, and then Chip. Thank you, Chip. Good.
And McCoy.
I forgot. Chip got. Oh yeah, and he had McCoy. Chip got rid of him.
So
I forgot. Yeah.
So those 2 factors don't even compare. So yeah, absolutely, it's different. You'll come around one day.
Okay.
And I just I pray you do.
Okay.
I pray you do, bro, because you're missing out on a guy that's
I like watching
really
him.
enjoyable.
He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch, bro. I love watching the guy throw the ball to the other team.
It's just
shit's fun as hell.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Colts over under 8.5. I got under on this.
Under?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got under. All right. I got him at like 8 wins, 7-8 wins, because I don't know what Anthony Richardson is, and I don't know if he's going. Number one, you don't know if he's going to stay healthy. He got the shit beat out of him. Was gone in 5 games last year. That's for one. Number two, he's never wowed me from the pocket.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can run around and do all that cool shit. Can you take care of the ball? Are you going to be able to support Pittman? Are you going to be able to support your other wide receivers? Can you get the ball out accurately? Can you get it out on time? Can you throw guys open? Can you fit it in the tight windows? Can you run a 2-minute offense? Can you get the fuck down the field and get in field goal range? Those are all things that he's basically it's like the second half of his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of expectations on him. A lot of expectations, dude.
A lot. And
expectations that I actually think are unfair.
And guess what? And expectations that could really, really be huge for him this year, because this could be make or break. And I 100%. If they fuck around and they go 6-11, 7-10,
I don't know about all that.
Listen, man, you pay Jonathan Taylor, you paid Michael Pittman. If this kid doesn't show any promise, if he can't deliver the football in the pocket, and he's injury prone and he gets injured again, you might have a quarterback controversy next year.
Okay.
And I'm just saying.
The injury thing, that's fair.
That's
fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he gets hurt 6th game of the year again.
Performance and injury. Like we just said. Irsay, he don't give a fuck, bro.
Because he's a cokehead.
He don't give a rat's ass if he just drafted you 5th overall, whatever he went. He don't give a shit. If you can't stay healthy and you can't perform, he will move on from you. He did it 5 years in a row. He had 5 different quarterbacks in 5 years.
It was Rivers, Wentz.
It was a plethora. Yeah. Matt Ryan. It was a bunch of fucking quarterbacks. But the point is that Irsay will pull that trigger.
Yeah.
This could be hot water. This could be very hot water for him. I pray it works out for him because like he definitely has a skill set. I just worry that it's not going to work in terms of success. And Irsay does not fuck around. He don't play games. He will move on from a quarterback. So I can definitely see a quarterback controversy next year in Indianapolis, 100%.
If he goes down in the 4th or 5th game, could they call up? You saying fuck JJ McCarthy? I'm gonna call in some Dak Prescott. But could he?
Absolutely could. Why not? It's a dome team. Dak played in the dome his whole career.
I fuck with dome.
They transitioned to the dome again. I
transition to the dome.
Look,
is fire.
Dak is going to have some suitors, bro. Dak is going to have some suitors.
He's going to Oakland.
Absolutely. Good.
Or Vegas. I always say that.
It depends if Adam stays. But.
Titans over under 6.5.
I got under here, man. As much as I really want to take the over. I can't
judge this team.
As much as I want to take the over, because I actually kind of do rock Will Levis.
Me too. I think he's a gamer.
I think he's a baller. Like I think a gamer.
He's a gamer, bro. Like he's not soft. When he's in that game, bro, he's going for it.
Yeah.
Like he's got that.
He's got the spirit.
Teach.
Yeah.
He's got it, bro. And I'm actually I'm gonna watch the Titans. I'm gonna root for him.
Yeah, me too.
I really am.
And D-Hop actually gave him a lot of praise last year. He was like, "Oh yeah, he's a dog." Like to hear that from a prominent wide receiver, man, that means a lot. So like, I feel like Will Levis he's slept on.
They're quiet.
They're really quiet.
They added Kevin Ridley.
I like their moves.
They added Tyler Boyd. They got
Tony
Pollard and Spears.
Yeah.
I mean,
they got rid of Henry, which
Pollard,
is okay.
Pollard will probably do better because he's not going to be a 3-down back anymore. Right. So if he gets back into the Cowboys role, he's a year now. He's now 2 years going to be removed from that leg injury. So it's like, can he might produce more?
Yeah.
And take the pressure off of Levis. You got those two in the backfield. They're running outs. So
the one thing that I will say though about the Titans is their head coach.
What's his name?
Brian Callahan.
He's the offensive coordinator from the Bengals, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, coming off of Vrabel meant something. Vrabel brought culture. Vrabel brought defense. He brought that mentality that, when you play the Titans, you're going to have a dogfight. Yeah. That's who Mike Vrabel's teams were.
He was a top 5 coach. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I love Mike Vrabel, and I hope he comes back into the league because I think he could coach his ass off. I love Mike Vrabel. I do. But he had that culture in Tennessee where it was like, you're going to get Tennessee's best shot. That's why they made the playoffs. That's why they were competitive. Hell, they had Ryan Tannehill, and they were still going to the playoffs. They still had the 1 seed. Why? Because Vrabel had the mentality of week in, week out, we are coming to war. They were going to fight, man. And they did that. They fought for their head coach.
I can't believe you don't have a job.
I can't believe they fired him.
That sucks. That too.
If they had Vrabel this year, I would take this number way over. I don't think this number is 6.5.
It's not 6.5. I was just going to say that.
I probably say it's probably
7.5.
7.5, given the roster and the changes they made with Henry being gone and whatnot. But yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like Mike Vrabel 100% makes a chance. And even if it was 7.5, I probably would take the over. I think they're an 8-9. I think they're an 8-win team with Vrabel. I do. I think 8-win is a sweet spot for them. I think they're 8-9 with the roster they have, and that's fair.
I mean, if Brian Callahan coached Joe Burrow and that offense, I think he knows offense.
Yeah, he knows offense, but what about defense? You're gonna need to know defense,
and that's fair. But in an offensive league, I meant it more. Can he make Will Levis can he make his tangibles match his intangibles? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Can he do that? Because if he can do that, I don't think they're as bad on paper as led to believe.
I don't think so either. I think they have weapons.
You feel me? Like I feel like I feel like there is something there.
Sure.
I don't know how much of it. I don't know how much juice you can get out of that lemon. I don't know. But there is something there. And with Levis, it's like, can Callahan do anything that he did with Burrow? Now, Burrow's obviously just gifted beyond belief, but can he bring anything to Will Levis that he had with Burrow that can elevate him?
It's not even that though. I mean, it's Brian Callahan. He doesn't have a Burrow, right? Well, let's be clear. It's Will Levis and Burrow, two different quarterbacks. Obviously, I think Will Levis can play, but the difference is the wide receivers. I mean, you're going from a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd to an injured and older DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, who last year, to be honest with you, was really inefficient. With
and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I mean, he gets Tyler Boyd back, so he knows how to use Tyler Boyd.
Well, I'm saying I think Tyler Boyd can help
like,
those receivers too.
Yeah, he can, but like at the same time, I just feel like you're downgrading so much. So how good can Brian Callahan be for this offense? You know what I mean? Like you're going from Burrow.
To me, the two most intriguing. We're going to talk about this team next. Is Brian Callahan and David Canals, the dude on the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing before we get to the NFC South, over under 1.5 teams out of this division for the playoffs. I got under. Whoever wins the division makes the playoffs.
I think the Jags knock on the door. I think around the wild card.
Yeah.
So maybe. I have them at 9-8, so they could possibly get in, but I'm going to go under. I think they could just get out.
They're so pathetic. All right, NFC South. Falcons favored to win the division at 145. That's a joke. Buccaneers plus 290. Saints plus 550. Panthers plus 11. Who's got the best value here?
Bucks. The Bucks, and it's not close. The Bucks at plus 290. They won division last year. They get Baker back. They signed Baker. They locked all their free agents up. They even signed Tristan Wirfs to an extension.
Yep.
They got Mike Evans back.
Vita Vea is back.
They brought everybody back, and that's what they do, man. They have a good culture over there in Tampa. I'm expecting the Bucks to actually win this division.
You son of a bitch, man! Did you really?
I'm expecting them.
Wow,
them
I'm blown away.
I can't believe they're not the favorite. I think they should be disrespected. And I think they're going to go into season like that, and I think that's going to make I think they're going to go into season pissed off, and that's going to make the difference for them. And I think that's going to propel them. I think the Falcons are going to be a playoff team. I will say that. I had the Falcons in the playoffs, but the division winner, I'm out on. I don't think they're winning the division.
The Falcons are not winning the division because the Buccaneers are, and the Buccaneers at plus 290 are the best value far and away. The fact that it's even flipped like that is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. I mean, you're acting like you would think they hired Bill Belichick instead of Raheem Morris the way those odds are flipped.
Real talk.
What are we missing here?
I don't know.
Kirk Cousins is coming off of an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Like this is the type of shit that I'm talking about with the disrespect to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
You're bringing your whole team back. Mike Evans got his chicken. Baker got his chicken. Tristan Wirfs got his chicken. Everybody's good. Godwin's going back to the slot. I don't understand this at all. And can I say something? And I don't give a fuck who calls me crazy. I don't care anything. Every single day of the week and twice on Sunday, if my life was on the line and I needed a quarterback in that division to win me a game, I'm taking Baker Mayfield every single day. Every single day. Kirk Cousins can be a better quarterback standing in the pocket and delivering. I'm not saying that. I know he throws for 5,000 yards. Although Baker quietly last year threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 picks. That's a great season. Baker Mayfield has now led two different teams to the playoffs in two different conferences. He was with the Browns, who were the worst fucking franchise we've seen in our life. Got them to the playoffs. 28 touchdowns as a rookie. I don't understand. I just don't understand what Baker has to do to get any type of respect. And like you just said, the best thing for them was to look at this line, because now you got a pissed off Baker, and he plays better when he's pissed off. He knows how to harness that energy and keep it to the right thing.
Yeah.
He was voted the second best trash talker in the league behind your guy, Josh Allen, which is funny because I didn't think Josh talked trash, but whatever.
That's my guy.
But then when I see that, I'm taking Baker Mayfield over Kirk Cousins every day for a game to win my life. Baker's got more of that shit, more of that grit, more of that in your face, more of that. He's just got it, dude. Kirk Cousins is going to get you gaudy numbers. He's going to have you a nice season. But when it comes to it, prime time, you're at 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon on a standalone game, he's going to fold. And that's just what he does. He did it to the Giants 2 years ago. When they were 10-3, they led that big ass comeback, had me acting a fool, and I look like an idiot. But That's just where I am on that, dude. That's just where I am. And he's coming off of an Achilles. I don't think he's stepping in there and he's all of a sudden now going to do what he hasn't done in his career.
I feel like it's the Atlanta Vikings.
It is, in a sense.
That's exactly what it is.
With a lesser wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, they got Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts. I like Bijan and Tyler Algier. Who else did they have? They had Rondale Moore, but he got hurt for the season.
Darnell Mooney.
They had Darnell Mooney as
He's all right. Caesar got him for $5.
Look, do I think the Falcons are going to be trash? I don't.
I don't think they're going to be trash.
I don't. I think the Falcons are going to be one of those sneaky teams late in the season where if their offense gets going and the defensive acquisitions that they've made in Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon, if they can make an impact on that defense, this team is going to be scary.
Look, bro, they
let's
I got the Falcons around
like,
oh no, we're about to do that in a minute.
Yeah.
But when I look at the Bucs schedule, the back half of their schedule, starting November 24th, right? They play the Giants, then they play the Panthers, then they play the Raiders, then they play the Chargers, then they got the Boys, then they got the Panthers again, then they got the Saints. Like, they're going to lose what? Maybe the Chargers and maybe the Cowboys. I mean, you're talking 2, 4, 6, 7. You're talking 5-2 at worst.
You talking off the rip or the back half?
The back half from November 24th.
So from the bye week on.
Look at them. Look at them, bro. You come out of the bye week. Giants, dub. Panthers, dub. Raiders, dub. Chargers, probably dub. Cowboys, you could say a loss. Panthers, dub. Saints, dub. 6-1. Even if they lose to the Chargers, you're 5-2.
Yeah, but 4 road games in 5 weeks is going to be tough for them. That's a tough stretch.
Yeah,
that's a tough stretch.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. I mean, look, they have a pretty brutal schedule coming out. They got the Commanders, who I think are going to be better. Then they got the Lions. Then they got the Broncos, the Eagles.
The Falcons,
but here's the thing:
the Saints in New Orleans, in Atlanta,
from
against
September,
Baltimore. Then they play Atlanta again. Then they're at Kansas City, and then they play the Niners. Like
they have a brutal middle, but that's fine. That's fine.
They're going to have to cover ground in the back half.
Back half of the season.
But I don't expect the South to be.
They got to win 4 games from opening day to the bye week. That's what they got to do. They got to win 4 games. They could go 4-6 and win that division.
Yeah.
Because the back half of their schedule lightens up. And that's also why I really like the Buccaneers. Like, think about that. You could come out of the gate 4-6 and win your division. Because as long as you take care of business, when you take care of business.
I feel the same way about the Falcons schedule. I think their Falcon schedule is really cupcake.
I can't pick the Falcons, dude. Every time I pick them, they just I don't know. I got like bad juju with that.
Like, they were 7-10 last year. And they get Kirk Cousins. Like, I just feel like I feel good about this team. I really do. Like, I feel like this team is going to be like a late surge. They're going to be clicking.
You got to know what Kirk is, though.
Look,
that's a question, dude.
I understand that. I get that. Last year, Falcons defense last year was ranked 19th points per game, and they were 11th in yards allowed.
They got better this year.
But they were also 21st in total team sacks. So they get Judon and they get Simmons. So, like, I feel like that's going to help them out. You know what I mean? Like,
now they're going to be able to rush and they're going to be able to stay back and protect.
And I think the Falcons have some young kids on that defense too that can really play. They have that kid Grant that could play.
Terrell just signed the 4-year, $80 million extension.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to compare these teams, and like, don't get it twisted. But like, I could see the ending kind of being a little similar for this team if they get hot.
The ending.
If they get really fucking hot on offense, like where like Kirk Cousins, they're playing a dome. Kyle Pitts is like the Kyle Pitts he was expected to be. Drake London takes a massive leap where he's a wide receiver 1. He's a top 10 wide receiver certified, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these things into consideration, along with Bijan. If this team gets hot later down the season, like I'm talking late, they play the Chargers and they play the last 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 weeks. They play the Saints, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Vikings, the Raiders, the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers. That is 8 teams right there they could beat.
Don't do me like this. They ain't beating my Commanders.
I'm just saying, potential wins.
I got you, yeah.
They have 8 potential wins if they are made of the right stuff that everybody's talking about.
You're saying it's very similar to the Buccaneers. The back half of their schedule, if they can catch.
Very similar to the Buccaneers. If they can catch, they can be one of those weird teams that could be really, really sneaky.
You did your homework.
Right? And guess what? Everybody talks about, oh yeah, the Bucs defense, man. Tom Brady was led by the Bucs defense, blah, blah, blah. He inherited a good defense. Well, how about this? In 2019, the Bucs defense that everybody talks about, they were 25th in points per game, and they were 18th in yards allowed. Albeit Jameis Winston had 30 picks. So obviously the points per game is going to be up. But 18th in yards allowed, that was concerning. I don't know how everybody thought that the Bucs defense was this mighty defense when Tom Brady took over. I don't see it like that. They had the pieces to be good.
The difference was that he didn't have 30 turnovers.
Correct. But the point is that it's very similar to the inherence of this team. Like I can't. It's either they're going to be really bad or they're going to catch fire and they're going to fucking do it. Like, it's just one of those weird situations. Everybody's counting out Kirk Cousins. Everybody says he sucks in prime time, which he does. Statistically, he's garbage. He's garbage.
Do you know who his only playoff win is over? Oh, no, wait. He has 2 playoff wins? His last playoff win?
I don't know. But also, here's another thing, too. Even if
he won 1 game in the playoffs, do you know who it is? Do you have any idea? Like, even an educated guess? I know it. I'm asking you because it's funny because we were just talking about this guy.
Of who they beat?
Who'd they beat?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Drew Brees and the Saints.
Really? Oh, wow. What year was that?
That was a few years ago. I think it might have been the COVID year or whatever year. Drew Brees' last thing.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't know
last
that.
thing. Kirk Cousins beat him.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no point, but there's no point to that. It's just funny that
but it's interesting.
Your only playoff win is against a legend.
But that's going back to the point of him not being able to deliver in big moments. Then now that's where it gets beat. But they have the fucking pieces to do it. Like, they got the pieces to be a top 5 offense.
It's hard to judge that though, because like he had Jefferson with the Vikings,
and they were a top offense.
They were, but when the playoff, look, I got burned on them, dude.
They were a top offense. But in fairness to last year, they didn't really have a running back last year. They have a running back this year in Atlanta. They got Bijan Robinson. It's not going to be all on Kirk. I don't think Kirk has to throw for 4,500.
He doesn't.
For them to be successful.
He doesn't.
I think he's just got to be efficient. That's it.
Very similar to Justin Herbert.
Very similar. Just be efficient. Because you know he could deliver the football. You know he's got a good arm. You know he's accurate.
Yeah, you know what he is.
You know what he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Nothing more, nothing less.
Is he great?
Quarterback.
No, he's not great. Is he good? Yes, 100%. But what I'm saying is that if they catch fire late in the season, because this schedule does favor them.
Yep.
I think this team has potential to really go on a run. I'm just saying.
But do you have the Bucs winning though, right?
I had the Bucs winning, okay. Yes.
So we agree on that. I'm shocked. I did not think you were.
I had the Bucs winning because I don't trust Atlanta. I don't trust them.
That's fair.
But I think they have potential.
I have the Bucs winning.
I do think they have potential.
I have the Bucs winning because I trust Baker.
Yeah. I trust somebody that did it last year. They have camaraderie now in Tampa.
And that team fucks with him.
I think they fuck with each other. And I think that's why, and I think that's what makes it work. You know what I mean?
Does,
I think that's what makes it work. I just saw the other day on Instagram. It was a preseason game right before the last game. I saw Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They were wearing Baker Mayfield t-shirts walking into the stadium. They fuck with each other.
That matters.
That matters. Like, those little details. Like, I pick up on that because I'm like, okay, they're riding for their guy. I'm gonna take that team any day.
They believe in them
over somebody like Kirk Cousins, who, by the way, left somebody in Minnesota high and dry and went somewhere else. So how much trust do you have in him?
Mm-hmm.
How loyal is he? I'm just saying. They're going to ride for a guy like Baker or over a guy like Kirk.
Agreed.
That's why
I said, give me Kirk Cousins in a game to save. Give me Baker in a game to save my life.
At the end of the day, it's a game of football. It's a game of emotions. It's a game of all those things. I think those little things matter in the end, and that's why I'm taking the Buccaneers.
Bro, to go back to this,
I don't. You know what I mean?
What was the downfall? What is the moment that everybody points to with the Eagles and when they won the Super Bowl in 2017? What was when everybody was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? When they built the shrine in Nick Foles' locker. That was when most of the people were like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You built a shrine in a guy's locker for your backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When you had the MVP favorite in a year that he was voted by the players as the best player in football.
Yeah.
Like you said, those details matter. when the Raiders last year, when they won that game and were smoking cigars after Josh McDaniels got fired. Josh McDaniels will never be a head coach again. All you have to do is play that video.
Yep. And guess what? As a result of that, Max Crosby said, if we don't get Antonio Pierce back, just trade me. Get rid of me. I want out.
That matters.
That's exactly what he said. Those things matter, man. So
I totally agree with you.
So like I'm with that, but like I think the Falcons, to me, they got a higher ceiling than the Bucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
I
fair
think their
because
ceiling's higher.
Because you got London, you got younger, more athletic guys.
Yeah, they got a better running back.
Evans is closer to the end than he is to the beginning.
Correct.
London should be entering his prime. Pitts and Bijan, and even Mooney, you could say. Now I know Mooney's a lesser tier, but Mooney's all right. Mooney's all right.
He's a good 3.
I think Mooney's all right.
He's a good wide receiver 3.
I think that here's the thing though, with Mooney, when you're a lesser wide receiver, you need a better quarterback to bring you up.
And you have one.
You're going to have that with Kirk, as opposed to where it's like you're Darnell Mooney, you're an okay receiver, and your quarterback is ass. You can't. That ain't going to work. You're going to look worse.
Right.
He can't get you the ball.
Correct.
So I agree with you on that. The ceiling of the Falcons is higher.
Right.
Because in totality.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll reach that, and we don't know what Raheem is.
Agreed.
Over under Falcons 9.5 win total. Excuse me.
I have under. I have him at 9-8.
I got that under too. I got him closer to 7-8.
I got 9-8. Although I think they could rattle off a lot of wins towards the end.
I know.
I do think that. I just think they're going to start off slow.
I'm kind of. I think they're just going to be a middle of the pack team. I got them like 7 on the low end if they blow like a stupid game, or if Kirk struggles in the very beginning, which I think it's going to take him a little bit to get the confidence back in his.
9.5 is fucking weird though.
I know, because it's a pretty high line. That's a high line. I got him under there. I would say 8 wins, 7-8 wins. Buccaneers 7.5.
Now this scares the living absolute dog.
They don't believe in Baker.
Bro.
They don't believe in Baker.
Yeah,
Mayfield.
but that's weird though, man, because this team won what? 9? They won 9 games.
They won 9 games and they dropped a game and a half. They lost their offensive coordinator. But
they got Baker next year. They got all their guys back. Like that doesn't really make any sense to me. That scares me.
If I'm looking at that, it's telling me to bet under, but I'm all Bake Show all day, and I'm over.
I'm Tampa, man. I'm Team Tampa over here, dude.
I'm Tampa Pauls.
Yeah, give me the overs here. I think they win division. I think they get 10-7. I think that's a respectful number.
Because I don't think they're going to come out of the gate through the first 10 and be 4-6.
But I think a lot of people think their defense is going to suffer because they lost Devin White. They lost.
You still have your anchor. You got Antoine Winfield,
right? I think they'll be okay.
And Vita Vea. You got your anchors.
I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be okay.
We're aligned on that. Saints 7.5.
I have the under here. I think Derek Carr is this is it for him, bro.
Hold on, bro.
I got the under for Derek Carr.
You mean to tell me the Saints and the Buccaneers have the same win total?
That's what it looks like.
Bro, Dennis Allen is going to be the first coach fired this year.
And I'll be honest with you. Yeah, no, I know.
Derek Carr is ass.
And guess what? Why don't you tell them the over and under plus and minus money?
I was just looking at that too. Over is -122 and under is +100. That's mind-blowing to me.
For the Saints.
For the Saints.
Now say the Bucks.
Over 132. Over is -132 with under is +104. They got them on the same playing field.
That's crazy.
They know, bro. That would tell me to bet. That would tell me to bet over in the Saints and under on the Bucks.
Under Bucks. That's what it's telling me. As a betting man, yes.
We're bad ones, but we're betting men.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But football's football, man. They love their quarterback. I'm going to take the over. I would take the over.
I'm with you.
The Saints don't love fucking Derek Carr. I don't give a fuck about him, man.
You think Rashid Shaheed is going to be anything special for Derek Carr?
They don't give a rat's ass about him. They care about Baker. I'm going for the guys that they care about, man.
All right, last one before we get out of here. Panthers 5.5.
I don't know how to judge this team to be real.
I'm saying over.
You're saying over?
I think they can get 6 or 7 of them things. I think with David Canales made.
I don't trust this team.
David Canales made Baker all right last year. Not all right. He made Baker damn good last year, but Baker's also really talented.
Is Baker better than Bryce?
Yes.
Overall?
Yes.
Like, you think he's a better talented quarterback? Like,
yes. He's bigger. He's got a stronger arm, and he's accurate as shit.
Yeah.
Baker's very accurate with the ball.
He's underratedly accurate.
That's what I'm saying, because he had a few rough years. But look,
again, that goes back to giving up on quarterbacks too early. Like that's what
Cleveland never should have got rid of him, dude.
Example.
He played hurt and cost himself a shitload of money. They never should have got rid of him. I guarantee you, if you can go back, Cleveland would have kept Baker.
Oh, without a doubt.
And never signed Deshaun Watson. Could you imagine the team they built around Baker right now?
No. What they would have done is they would have kept Baker and never signed Odell.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yes.
That whole thing was the problem because they brought Odell in. He was a superstar. He was supposed to take over Cleveland. He was supposed to join with Jarvis Landry and all this shit, right? They were back. The LSU boys were back. They were on the same fucking team. And guess what? They shit the bed and they blamed it on Baker. That's exactly what happened.
You're right. I actually really
that was the narrative.
Yep.
And that followed him through Carolina to the Rams and now to Tampa. But then in Tampa, he had success. So now that he's kind of righting the ship a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
coming.
No pun intended. He is.
Yeah. I know.
He is like that.
Oh shit. I just got that. Yeah.
So like truthfully, like I
that's my sailor.
That's my sailor is nuts.
That's the episode name. Yeah. That's my sailor.
That's my sailor. I like that.
I got over on them things.
All right, I'm gonna go under because I don't respect.
I'm gonna try and give Bryce some love, man.
Yeah, I try to, but look, I don't have much.
Honest to God, he's built like me, and that worries me because I can't hold up in the NFL.
It's like this, bro. You know what you're doing with this over under? You're going like this. You're throwing a dart.
That's what it is, bro.
That's all you're doing.
That's what it is.
It's a blind dart.
All right, guys. We will be back next Wednesday. We're gonna be giving our
week one preview.
Our week one.
Yeah,
preview.
we're back. And next week is football, baby.
Well, no, we got to do our Super Bowl prediction. We got to give our playoff seeding.
That's next week.
We'll do our playoff seeding 1 through 7. We're gonna give our Super Bowl prediction, our NFC and AFC championship games, and then we're gonna start previewing week 1 because we're finally fucking back.
We're back. So. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate all the love, support, and the comments. If you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We're also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Stitcher,
and all that other shit.
Also, follow us on all of our social platforms as you do not want to miss our daily content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that other shit. And we will see you guys next week at P&I, baby. Peace.
I'm caps lock different. It's facts, non-fiction. Said I black out for real, then the track gone missing. If it's cap, I'm dipping. We ain't talking about a move, then it's flatline finished. When I spaz, I'm grinning. Put a peel off in the Sadies and I pass by spinning. It's perks with this life, but I don't have my skinnage. Took a quick trip and now I'm back home winning. And I see they eyes pop like I snack on spinach. Pull up to the spot, she tryna grab my digits. I'm already 8 shots, a Henny past my limit. Here you go. Hazards with a dash full of tickets. I'ma act like I don't see them. I got bad eye vision. Y'all can't pass my scrimmage. While y'all tripping, it's Aruba. I realized I had to go